Today is homework number 2 about solving systems by graphing. The solution to a system, once you graph it, is identified by the intersection of the lines on the graph. We're going to graph the lines the exact same way that we did on homework number 1 yesterday, where once the line is in y equals mx plus b format, we can just find the slope and the y-intercept, plot them on the graph. So we're going to start with line number 1, y equals 2x plus 5. We always begin with b. b is my y-intercept, or the number without the letter. So that's 5. M is how I move. It's the slope, the number with the x, which is 2. And if we're talking rise over run, then it's 2 over 1. So I begin with b, my y-intercept. So I'm going to plot it on my y-axis. 5. Then I'm going to use my slope. It's a positive 2, meaning going up 2, and a positive 1, meaning going to the right 1. So up 2 to the right 1. Since I'm out of space going up, the opposite of going to up and right is to go down and left. So I can go down 2 and left 1, down 2 and left 1. I'm going to continue on until I reach the end of the graph. Connect my dots and start on line number 2. Now you should have already done these problems and be checking your work as we go through. Make corrections on your assignment if you have any errors. Line number 2, I'm going to begin with b, my y-intercept is 8, and m, my slope, is the number in front of x, -1, also -1 over 1, same thing. So I'm going to begin with b. I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, start my point on my y-axis, then -1 tells me I'm going to go down. Positive 1 tells me I'm going to go to the right. So I'm going to go down 1, right 1, put a point. Down 1, right 1, down 1, right 1, down 1, right 1. Connect the dots. And I see that my lines intersect. Where they intersect, right here, is my solution. So the solution to my problem is this point where they cross at 1, go right 1, up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 7 is the solution to the system of equations. Now we're going to go on to number 2. Number 2 is also already in y equals mx plus b format. Very nice of them to do that for us. And all I have to do is identify my slope and my y-intercept. So I begin with b. b in this equation is -1, the number without the x, and my slope, m, is the number in front of the x, -1/3. So I begin with b, plot a point at 1. -1 tells me to go down for my slope, and 3 tells me to go to the right. So down 1 to the right 3. I run out of graph space, so similar to what I did in number 1, instead of going down and to the right, I can go up and to the left. Up and left, 1, 2, 3. Connect the dots and have my first line. For my second graph, I'm going to find b, my y-intercept, is 1. M, my slope, the number in front of the x, is 1/3. So I'm going to begin with b, put a point at 1, +1. I'm going to go up 1 and to the right 3. Up 1, 1, 2, 3 to the right. Up 1, 1, 2, 3 to the right. 1, 1, 2, 3 to the right. The same as I can do down and to the left. Down 1, left 1, 2, 3. Connect my dots all the way across. And I see where my points intersect. Not my points, my lines intersect at a point. So my solution to this equation is 0, going left 1, 2, 3, -3. the solution to my system of equations. Now we're going to look at number 3. Number 3 is also in y equals format for us. Y equals x plus 2. I begin with b. B is 2. M is my slope, the number in front of x. When there's no number there, it's the imaginary 1. So I'm going to begin with b, plot my point at positive 2. My slope of 1 means I rise 1, run 1. So up 1, right 1, up 1, right 1, up 1, right 1, or down 1, left 1, down 1, left 1, down 1, left 1. And I can continue and connect my points. For my second line, it's y equals 4. We talked in class today about what a y equals line looks like. Y equals 4 means that no matter what x equals, left and right on your x-axis, your y value is always 4. So it is a horizontal line through 4 on the y-axis. So when I draw my line through 4 on the y, and I see that my lines intersect at this point, the coordinates of that point are 1, 2, and then they go up 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 4, where my lines intersect. Number 4. Number 4 is also in in y equals for us. So my b, begin with b, is negative 6. And my m, the number in front of x, is 3. 3 is also 3 over 1. So I begin with b at negative 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 6. We're a little bit down underneath the graph. That's okay. I'm going to go up 3 because it's positive, and to the right 1. Up 1, 2, 3, right 1. Up 1, 2, 3, right 1. Up 1, 2, 3, right 1. I'm going to continue until I get to the edge of my graph, and then I'm going to connect my points. Now this time, instead of a y equals, we have an x equals. Since there is no y value, x equals means no matter what y is, x is always 1. So that means that I'm going to draw a line through x at positive 1. So x equals makes a vertical line, causing my two lines to intersect at my solution. And my solution is positive 1, and down 1, 2, 3, negative 3. Now number 5 gets a little bit more complicated on us, but luckily yesterday's homework number 1 and lesson 1 taught us how to solve for y. In order to graph negative 2 plus y equals negative 5, I need to solve for y so that I can find my slope and my y-intercept. Now I'm going to start with the first equation, negative 2x plus y equals negative 5. The first step in getting y alone is to add 2x to both sides of the equal sign. So I add 2x, negative 2x and positive 2x cancel, and I'm left with y equals 2x minus 5. I can now graph that I'm in slope-intercept form. I begin with b. b is negative 5, and my m, or my slope, is 2. Now, negative 5 is a little bit far off this graph, but we're going to try our best to estimate here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's my negative 5, and then my slope is 2, so I'm going to go up 2 and to the right 1. So up 1, 2, right 1, up 1, 2, right 1, up 1, 2, to the right 1. I'm going to continue throughout my graph. I'm going to connect the points. All right, now we're going to look at the second equation. My second equation is 2x plus y equals negative 5. 2x plus y equals negative 5. So the first step in getting y alone is subtract 2x. Negative 2x and positive 2x cancel. I'm left with y equals negative 2x minus 5. B, begin with b, is negative 5, and my slope is negative 2. So begin with b starts at the exact same spot as my other one. Negative 2 slope is the same as negative 2 over 1. So negative 2 tells me to go down, and 1 tells me to go right. I don't really want to go down since I'm already off of the graph. So instead of going down and right, I'm going to go up and left. As long as I do both opposite, I can switch which directions I'm going. So instead of down and right, I'm going to go up and left. So up 2, left 1, up 2, left 1, up 2, left 1, up 2, left 1, and then I can connect my points. Now, if you hadn't already realized it by looking at your equation, where my lines intersect is where I started at my y-intercept. So they intersect at my intercept. So my y-intercept is at 0, negative 5, and that is also the solution to my system. Now the last two problems we're looking at are more examples of writing systems from a word problem. So it tells me to write a system of equations for each scenario. Each problem will have 2 variables identified and 2 equations. Do not solve the equations. We're just going to set them up. So we're going to look at number 6. Your family goes to Chili's for dinner. Chili's charges $9 for adults dinner and $5 for a children's plate. 10 members of your family went to dinner and your bill was $66. How many adults and children ate at Chili's? The first thing I want to do is identify my 2 variables. My 2 variables are always what the question is asking me. It's asking me how many adults and how many children. So my first variable, I'm going to use A for how many adults. And I'm going to use C for how many children. Now, I need 2 equations. One of my equations, I see that my word problem talks about money. So one of my equations is going to talk about money. I have $9 for an adult dinner. So $9 per adult dinner means 9 times the number of adults, and so plus $5 for children's plate. So $5 for each child, so multiply. And my bill was a total of $66, so equals $66. So now I'm done with one of my equations, and I have to figure out what my other equation is going to talk about. Now I already talked about the money, so however much Chili's charges me, I already used that information. And I know that my bill was $66. I already used that information. And how many adults and children I used to identify my variables. So the last part is what my second equation is going to be about. 10 members of your family went to dinner. The members of your family, a total of 10, is equal to. Your family is made up of adults and children. So how many adults and how many children should make a total of 10 people going to dinner? And there I have my 2 equations after my 2 variables being identified. Last but not least, number 7. We're going to zoom out just a little bit. I see that Janie has 196 rock and country CDs that she listens to at home. If there are 76 more rock CDs than country CDs, how many of each type of CD does she own? Again, identifying my variables, I want to pick the things that it's asking me to find. It's asking me how many of each type of CD. There are 2 types of CDs. So First, I'm going to have X. X is going to be how many of one type of CD. One type of CD is a rock CD. So how many rock CDs? And my other variable, Y, is going to be how many of the other type of CD. So how many country CDs. And then I have used that last bit of information. So I have two equations that need to be made. My first part of my first sentence, says Janie has 196 rock and country CDs that she listens to at home. 196 CDs total is made up of two kinds of CDs. So to make a total of 196, I need however many rock CDs plus however many country CDs to find out her total number of CDs. So this is going to be one of my equations. And I have now used the first sentence of my word problem. So the second sentence of my word problem is going to be my second equation. If there are 76 more rock CDs than country CDs. So 76 more. More means I'm going to add and the first thing that it talks about is what it's equal to. So I'm going to have, we're talking about how many rock CDs she has. She has a number of rock CDs that's the same as 76 more than, I'm sorry, I just used the wrong variable. I was using an X for rock CDs. So X equals, my rock CDs is equal to 76 more than plus her country CDs, Y. And that is my second equation and the end of my second homework assignment.